Hey guys, so this is just a quick little video to show you the 3 different types of point of view that we're going to explore today. I've made a couple of notes just before I get started so that it doesn't take me too long to explain them. But basically what this is all about is the way a story is written. It's always written from a certain point of view. And that point of view can determine how the reader interacts with the book. So something that we see all the time, I think in a lot of the texts that we read, is a book that is written from first person. And that's when you're reading someone's direct story. So they're retelling you their story. And they'll often use the words like, we did this, or I did this, and I felt this, I was scared. And that is really obvious to us because their feelings and emotions are shared with the reader. This can be really good because that means that we then create, I'm just going to write down something here. We gain trust with the author and then the person that is telling us a story because we're becoming more related to them and we can understand them a bit more and we know their sort of character and feelings. So that's a really good way for us to understand a book and start to believe in a character. So that's another reason why most of us write stories in first person. Something that we haven't really come across that much at all because it's, I didn't mean to use that pen, it's quite rare, is second person. Now, second person is really tricky and in fact, I think it's quite tricky to write as well. Second person is when the audience is treated like a character. So basically, it's when the book talks to you. So they might have some questioning like, how would you feel if this happened to you? Or what would you do next? And I think a lot of us have seen second person in choose your own adventure books. Because in those sort of stories, we are asked to have a choice. And we can go on, to page 2 or we can go to page 22, depending on what we want to happen. And that's when the book and the author is communicating with us. So that's called second person. Other types of books that are second person are like self-help books or sort of science books, psychology books, which talk to us when teaching us things, as well as like cookbooks, because they say, now you need to pour in the milk, etc., etc. So it's not that common for narratives, which is the stuff that we're likely to read. Third person is our last one. I'm using the wrong pen again. Ay. So third person is our last one. And basically that is like someone on the outside watching everything and telling us everything that's going on. So when we're reading a story, the person on the outside is the third person and they can see absolutely everything that's going on with every single character and they can jump from here all the way to here and they can tell us everyone and everything what's going on. Now, the problem with third person is that emotions and sort of feelings of other characters aren't really described very well because they don't really know how the persons are feeling. They're just watching from the outside. And so usually these sort of feelings need to be inferred. And inferred is when that means we have to come to our own conclusions based on what we see. So that basically means if we saw some bullying happening in a story and we saw the reaction of the children getting bullied, we might see that their faces go red. They might start to cry and they have a really sad look on their face. Now, we're not getting a feeling from inside that kid. We're not being told, oh, I am so sad. But we'll be able to see from the outside, oh, they're actually being hurt by the situation. And that's us inferring. We're coming to a conclusion. So this is really tricky because we have to decide what the feelings of those characters are. Okay? So this is a really, really tricky one. So outside perspective and emotions and feelings are usually need to be inferred. So we need to, I'm just going to change color, come to our own conclusions. Okay? So that's just a quick intro about the 3 different types. I'll attach this video and maybe a link to another video which will also explain it. I just thought having 2 would be good, and then there's going to be an activity. Bye guys.